We've got The Guardian now, and Iranians are refusing to vote in an election rigged to elect hardline Islamists. Sounds like Iranians are Islamophobic, Lewis.
It does sound that, because this is Iran, and 27% of the population of Iran only 27% voted in the big elections that they're having, and only 12% in Tehran, which is the capital metropolitan type city, which tells you that the people didn't want to vote. The reason they didn't want to vote is because every candidate that runs has to be vetted and chosen and selected by the Guardian Council of the Islamic State. And they vote test. They vote. They don't vote, which is their protest, which tells you that people in Iran do not like the government. And the reason this is so important is because Iran is the nexus of evil around the world, or they're being accused of it. They're basically, in Sherlock Holmes, they're the Moriarty of countries.
Well, and on a note that's relevant to us, Cressida, I mean, in 1979, Iran was a relatively open, prosperous and tolerant country. Then it had an Islamic revolution in which Marxists, left-wing people, and Islamists marched side by side, just as we're seeing in the UK right now, and they brought in this Islamic theocracy, and then suddenly the workshops for queer youth that had been promised to the leftists didn't materialise.
Not a lot of them, even lower turnout than for voting. Great point. And do you know what I find fascinating about this is that people are allowed to not vote. I've got an Australian friend, but she gets fined if she doesn't turn up and vote.
Yeah, because Australia is a police state, anti-democracy.
It's the only country. It's the only country that's actually stricter and more authoritarian than Iran.
Well, it turns out, so they could take a leaf out of Australia's book. But yeah, that's fascinating to me that they're allowed to stay home, and it's very clear what the people think, isn't it, by their absence.